Hey guys, welcome back to my Book of Revelation series. I believe this is part 12. So today we are definitely going to be getting into the nitty-gritty of the Book of Revelation. We are going to be talking about the Book of Daniel and how it relates to the chapter of the Book of Revelation that we are on. We are on chapter 6 of the Book of Revelation, and this is the unraveling of the scrolls and the first seals. So in my last video, we talk about Jesus and how he's taken the scroll from God's hands, and he is now unraveling the scroll, and he is the only one who is worthy to unravel this scroll. And this scroll unraveling brings a lot of things. I also spoke about the four-faced creature that has a lion, a bull, an eagle, and a man on either side of this cube. This is the creature that is being spoken of in the first two verses of chapter 6. John hears this creature call out, and it sounds like thunder to him. And again, we know that thunder is the representation of God's voice, and a lot of times is a symbol of wrath or anger for God. The creature calls out and brings forth the white horseman, the first of the four horsemen. And this white horseman, or rather white horse that the first horseman is riding, is representative of peace. Now, it's compared to the horse that Jesus will be riding when he comes back, because he comes to bring true peace. But the horseman on this horse, he says that he's going to bring peace and he's going to make a peace treaty, but it's not true peace. It doesn't last. And if you don't know by now, this is going to be the antichrist. This is going to be the man that will unite many nations and so on and so forth. This rider is also wearing a crown when he comes onto the scene. And again, the word for crown here is not diadem, which is what would be given to royalty. It is Stephanos in the Greek. Now, a Stephanos crown is this kind of crown. It was a crown given to generals when they came home from war victorious. And this is the word that's used for the crowns that are given to the churches that are victorious and end up ruling and reigning in heaven with Jesus. This is the first seal, talking about the Antichrist and him being the first horseman. In verses 3 and 4, we see that the creature calls out again and calls to another horseman. This horseman is the red horseman. And as you can all guess, red does mean bloodshed. He comes with a great sword, and the word in Greek is megos, meaning huge. And sword always represents war, meaning world war. And so we know that this red horseman represents World War III and how it will definitely take part in the end of the world. Now I need to jump into the book of Daniel in order for you to understand what comes after that. You see, Daniel gives us a prophecy in his explanation of King Nebuchadnezzar's dream. In Daniel chapter 2, he is called on by Nebuchadnezzar in order to interpret a dream that Nebuchadnezzar says that he does not remember and wants to know if any of his wise men can interpret and tell him the dream that he had. Of course, he calls on his magicians, his sorcerers, even the Chaldeans, which I will get into in a different video, but the Chaldeans were basically the ancient day scientists who also believed in, space and astrology and all kinds of different things, divination. They had a combination of all the sorcerers. But he also calls on Yahweh's prophets, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Daniel goes to pray to God, and God gives him a vision of what Nebuchadnezzar dreamt. And through that vision, he was able to come back to Nebuchadnezzar and tell him exactly what he dreamt and what it meant. Not before giving God all the glory and worshiping him and coming to Nebuchadnezzar and telling him that this is not his, knowing this is God giving him the knowledge. So Daniel tells Nebuchadnezzar that in his dream he saw a statue, a very large statue, a giant statue, if you will, of this. And as you can see, the head is of gold, the shoulders and arms are of silver, the body of bronze, and the legs of iron. And down here you see that they have the toes or feet of iron and clay. So not only is he talking about different kingdoms in this statue, but he's also talking about the physical aspects of each one of these materials. See, he tells Nebuchadnezzar that Nebuchadnezzar's rule and reign is the head, represented by gold because of his immense power and his immense empire. God is telling Nebuchadnezzar that he has given him the divine authority over all this land. God has given it to him because he plays a crucial part in history. Gold represents divinity, wealth, and prosperity. That's all Nebuchadnezzar really cares about, but if you want me to explain the rest, go ahead and check out my part 2.